Hey everybody. So, if you're trying to unlock premium Warbonds in Helldivers 2 without spending real money, then farming super credits is the best thing you can do. And today we're putting that to the test. The challenge is simple. How many super credits can I get in just 10 minutes? But more importantly, I want to show you a planet type that has quickly become my new favorite place to farm. For a long time, my go-to farming maps were desert planets because they're open and they're easy to navigate. But recently I discovered something better, and that is the new forest planets that they added recently. These are lush biomes with giant trees, shallow water, and surprisingly flat terrain. And even though they look dense, they're actually much easier to navigate than many desert planets because the desert planets a lot of times have a lot of rocks, a lot of mountains. Whereas these new planets, the visibility is excellent, the terrain is smooth, and because water takes a part of the map most times, that makes it so that the points of interest tend to spawn closer together. And that means basically one thing, you get more loot in less time. So in this video, I'm going to show you my favorite farming loadout, why these forest planets are so efficient, some tips to maximize your super credit farms, and exactly how many credits I managed to find in 10 minutes. So let's dive in. So at first glance, these planets might not seem ideal because there are trees everywhere and you would think they would block your movement, but in practice, they're actually really good. The ground is usually very flat so you can move quickly. There's plenty of visibility between the trees, and the water features naturally compress the map, which again, it usually causes the points of interest to spawn close together. So that means less driving around and more opening containers and sneaking into bunkers. Now, after testing several planets, these forest biomes have become one of my absolute favorite places to farm. Now I'm going to go over my farming loadout, and you do not need a perfect loadout to farm efficiently, but these are the tools that make the process much smoother for me. This is the loadout that I found that works best for farming. So first we start with the Lift 182 Warp Pack. And this is easily the most important item in my farming setup because the Warp Pack allows you to teleport short distances, and that has one massive advantage for solo players because you can open friendship bunkers by yourself. Even if you don't play solo, you can still do run with these and then just open bunkers by yourself. So normally these bunkers require two players pressing buttons at the same time, but with the Warp Pack, you can just teleport right in and grab all the loot. That means that you never have to leave anything valuable behind. Now, how do you unlock this? This is, you can purchase it in the control group Warbond for 1,000 super credits, and then you have to go to page 3, and it costs 110 medals to unlock the War Pack. If I was starting completely new, this would be the first Warbond that I would buy specifically for the War Pack, just because you can use it to farm. Now, again, this is super worth it because you can open friendship bunkers solo, you can cross obstacles really quickly, and it just saves you a ton of time. Now, on our second slot, we have the Fast Recon vehicle. The FRV is your best friend when it comes to covering large maps quickly. How do you unlock it? You reach level 25, you purchase it in the hangar, and it costs 25,000 requisition slips. Now, this is really useful because you can travel quickly between points of interest. You can navigate flat terrain easily, and it is great for solo and group farming. Honestly, uh, it's the only missions where I ever use the vehicle. I've never used it on an actual mission. I only use it for farming. On the third slot, we have the APW-1 anti-material rifle, and this is my preferred sniper weapon for farming. This is available early in the game. You can get it from the Patriotic administration center, it costs around 5,000 requisition slips. Now, the reason that I like this weapon so much for farming is, again, it's available early in the game, and then some containers explode or ignite when you open them. When you use grenades, when you use pretty much anything, usually the containers will have uh, fire barrels next to them or explosive barrels next to them. So when you open them, they explode, and then you either have to walk through a fire or you have to wait, or it's like a whole thing. So since we're trying to do things as fast as possible, then this is the option that I use. But pretty much any weapon that you have that can open containers is what I would put on this spot. Now, the final stratagem slot doesn't really matter. You can bring anything you want, nothing at all. Usually, I just do like a sentry or whatever is maybe an orbital. It doesn't really matter. It's just the first three items are the ones that are doing the heavy lifting. You could maybe bring a second backpack or a jetpack or pretty much anything you want. As far as the armor, that is completely up to you, but I strongly recommend light armor because light armor lets you run faster and recover more quickly between points of interest. Personally, I often use armor with fire resistance because, again, when you open certain containers, that can set the surrounding area on fire for a little while, so you have that extra protection, so you can just grab your loot and keep going. For the booster recommendation, I would use, or I use the stamina enhancement because this is one of the best boosters in the game. And then for farming, it just works even better. So how do you unlock this? This is found in the free Helldivers mobilized Warbonds. So this is something that comes with the game, with the base game. This is on page 7 and it costs 75 medals. Now, the benefits of this booster is that you get 22% maximum stamina and you get 40% stamina regeneration. So that means you can run more, you can run more often. So it's more sprinting, less waiting, faster farming. Now, if you don't already have this booster, this should be one of your top priorities. Now I'm going to give you some general super credit farming tips. The first one is you should play on trivial difficulty. That's difficulty number 1, because super credit drop rates are not improved by higher difficulties. If anything, you probably get less because there is the higher the difficulty, there's more of a chance that those super credits will be replaced by samples. So if you're on trivial, there's usually not, or I think I've never seen a sample in either a bunker or a container. So that's the main reason. Now, there's also, you have a lot less enemies. The maps are a little bit smaller, so you have faster runs, you have easier navigation, and then you have, just in general, it's a more efficient in that difficulty. Another tip is that you should follow the outer edge of the map. One of the most effective strategies, and is what you're going to see me doing in this video, is I will pick just a random spot and then I will drive around the outer perimeter of the map, because points of interest usually spawn along the edges, and following that route helps you just clear everything systematically without missing any spots, hopefully. Another tip is that if you are farming with other players, you should avoid finishing the mission objective completely, because once the objective is complete, the only way to get out is to head to the extraction, which basically means that your fast farming run becomes a much longer run. So you should focus entirely on points of interest and just completely avoid the objectives. Now, when you're finished farming, just pause and then go to return to ship. There's no need to extract. Super credits are awarded immediately when you pick them up, so you keep everything when you found, even if you don't extract from the mission. Now, this can be useful, especially if you're farming with other players, is activate the radar towers. If you encounter a radar station, activate it immediately, because that reveals all of the points of interest on the map and can speed up your run if you're in a group. If you're solo, I wouldn't recommend it. I would just say keep going and just keep the time that it takes you to activate the radar. You can probably find 2 or 3 points of interest if you're solo. So now for the fun part, I set a timer for 10 minutes and headed to a forest planet. I used the Warp Pack, the FRV, sniper. I drove around the outer edge. I opened every point of interest I could find. I checked every bunker and container along the way. And after 10 minutes, I ended up with 60 super credits, which is not bad at all. Of course, this is heavily influenced by RNG. Some runs will be better because you might get the drops that give you 100 super credits instead of 10. Some runs will be worse and you'll just get requisition slips everywhere. But based on my experience, a realistic average is around 3 to 400 super credits per hour solo. If you're in a group and you're well organized, you can go. I've gotten 600 super credits in an hour with a group of 4 people. So that is enough to unlock a 1000 super credit premium warband in just 2 to 3 hours of focused farming. So is that worth it? Absolutely, because premium warbands cost 1000 super credits, and you can basically earn them entirely through gameplay without spending any real money in a couple of hours. Now, once you have the Warp Pack and the FRB, the process becomes even faster and much more enjoyable. Now, these forest planets have become my new favorite super credit farming biome. They combine flat terrain, excellent visibility, closely packed points of interest, great vehicle mobility. You pair that with the Warp Pack, a reliable sniper, and you have one of the most efficient farming setups in the game. In today's test, we found 60 super credits in 10 minutes, which translates to a very respectable hourly rate. If you're saving up for your next premium warband, this is one of the best methods that I have found. And that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy my content and you want to support the channel, there are a few ways that you can help out. First, drop a like on the video and share it with your friends, family, or anyone you think would enjoy it. It really helps the channel grow. Second, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you never miss a future video. And third, if you would like to support me directly, you can do so at allbashgaming.com. In there, you can buy me a coffee, and now you can also rep the channel with your own merch. You can grab your Loot Goblin t-shirt or the classic "It's not a glitch, it's a tech" t-shirt over on my shop. All the links you need are in the description. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. See you in the next one.